put all of the noisy things I could possibly play with as far away from me as possible.
But do make sure you have a quiet thing to play with.
I need to get a quiet fidget,
like a silenced fidget cube or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna play. That's not making noise, is it?
I don't hear anything.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play
Do
with
it louder.
sock then.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, no.
You're gonna have to do it louder, Colin.
yeah, Colin, can you bump those levels up a little bit?
Yeah, can you fidget right next to the mic? Just very, very quietly?
Oh, you want me to just fidget right next to the mic and just, stim a little bit to deal with probably an undiagnosed amount of ADD or possibly just associated with the anxiety disorder that I have? Really just maybe I have too much blood sugar and my body wants to burn a little bit of this off. So I'm just going to play with this whole sock right here. It's a nice soft fabric.
Oppa Gundam style, everyone. Welcome to Wow Cool Robot. It's a show about Gundams, and we're here doing it.
Also, good news, I still can't hear the fabric, so you're good.
Yeah, you're really good. Yeah, that
fiddle
was...
as much as you like. Carry on, my wayward them.
I'm Max, I use he, him pronouns.
Oh yeah, remember how we introduced ourselves last episode? I'm Sarah, I use she, they pronouns.
And I am Colin, I use they, them pronouns.
Remember last week when we thought this was going to be like a batshit crazy trilogy of episodes?
Gundam's Trick.
As it turns out, pretty normal.
The triple most chill episodes of Gundam that I've ever watched in my life. Love to vibe.
Yeah, I think, I didn't, when you were all like, oh man, look at these episode titles, this is going to be crazy, we're going to have such a long episode next time, I just didn't want to be like, this is the middle of the season, like, nothing's going on right now.
Well, I was kind of thinking, oh Jesus, they're really not giving us a break, I wish we could have a break. Psych! We did.
A fingers on the monkey's paw curls, and it was, not even problematic. It just is, normal.
Yeah, no. It's all the fingers on the monkey's paw curl, and it just gives us a wee thumbs up.
And it's not only is it a nice reprieve, but, that Gunpla check be hitting, because this, it is a noticeable, skyrocket in, animation quality in these episodes.
Yeah. I finally understand that Zeta Gundam... Guys, you're never gonna... Okay.
Breaking news, everyone.
Sometimes it's like a dude ship, and sometimes it's a plane ship, and it can go between the two of them.
You get both.
It's really cool. Y'all heard of this?
Y'all heard of Gundam?
I think another important thing to kind of underline all of this is the battles that have been really confusing in the past have been these big massive operations that have taken place at key points over the season, and now we're getting two ships, and occasionally they take their action figures and they mash them together, and it's just there's a lot less reason for things to be super chaotic and hard to read, and instead it's just Camille's here, Yazan's here. They sword fight a little bit.
Doing fight.
Yeah.
My Gundams involuntarily bite.
Whoa, now I want to see I think back to 0079 and there's a Krello. I bet that thing has a biting function to it. What that mouth do? I want to know.
Is it the Krello, the yellow one?
It's the demon Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Well, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
I have prepared some little episode descriptions because I watched these on Tuesday, but I didn't take any notes. But then after I watched each of them, I just kind of wrote down what I remembered happening in the episode. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So these are probably really accurate.
Yeah. Well, so before you do that, I just want to preface this is we're gonna try this. I'm gonna put a little music track underneath Sarah talking, so y'all know that when the music happens is when the summary happens. And then when the music stops, we'll talk about the actual episode, so it's not a sort of confusing delineation. If you like this, let us know. If you don't like this, let us know. I'll probably make a poll at some point after an episode or two of this to see where society as a whole stands on this issue. Yeah, well, Sarah, let us know what happens.
The most pushing issue of 2020 is recaps. Okay, Sarah's here.
Hi, Sarah.
And also in the episode, Sarah's here.
What's it called?
25. Well, wait, does this mean I'm going to be doing all the titles?
Well, here, Colin, you get to say this episode title because your name's in it.
Okay. This episode is...
Colony Drop.
They do be dropping.
I think it should be Colin They Drop for when you drop.
Yeah.
Don't really appreciate that one. But anyway, Sarah's here, and also Sarah's here. Sarah comes over to the Argama and is like, oh, hey guys, the Titans are gonna like drop a colony on Granada, which is true, but she's only telling them that because like she likes Sriracha and Sriracha wants her to do this. The Aig are like, well, I guess we'll stop it then. Mr. Wong is a bitch, refuses to evacuate Granada because, Eagles just protect everyone. To be fair, he's right, they do that. Everyone launches in mobile suits to go and like stop this. Katz, who has a crush on Sarah, gets coaxed into a snafu. She escapes. But not before telling Katz about how the Toblerone has a weak spot, which Katz then relays to Fa, who relays to Camille. Camille uses this weak spot to defeat the Toblerone, which allows Emma to get over to the colony and, like, kind of move it a bit, so it doesn't crash in Granada. The end. Katz is grounded.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. You know what? As you said this, Sarah, you know what I, like, got a horrible war flashback to?
When we did season 4 of
Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4. It's just like, damn, the more things change, the more they say the same, am I right?
Listen, Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 4, it kind of helped us get through things, and I thought this would allow us to just kind of, like, have an idea of what happens in the episode, so we could just kind of do whatever the fuck we want without worrying about telling the story of the episode. Because I've already done it perfectly.
Yeah.
So to speak on the actual episode, it's very funny to me to see Sarah, like, in their Hyzak, just, like, holding a normal-ass, like, white surrender flag.
Yeah.
It's like she's like rolling up looking like Master Chief after he steals the blue team flag.
So there's like a little animation detail on this that makes it look like a white quilt duvet cover that she's just tied to a big stick.
Oh yeah, the little sort of like the threads connecting the entire like side of it to the main pole or whatever.
Yeah. There's kind of like some shitting on it, and this is definitely a bed sheet.
Do you know what that is? That's the thing that makes it flap like a flag instead of just looking like a weird piece of fabric in space.
Yeah. I completely lost it because someone just messaged me about Final Fantasy 14, so my brain just like turned to gamer mode for a second there.
That's fair. Speaking of brain turning to gamer mode, Katz's brain turns to gamer mode whenever Sarah walks in, because he just has this very, very, very obvious crush on her. Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, Katz, don't do that.
Katz, do not do this thing.
Katz is immediately big fucking eyes. We've skipped a lot here. We got to go back to talking about the Wong telephone. Katz sees Sarah. His eyes get very large, and he says, "Ooh, yes, I too will have a dead girlfriend."
He says, "Girl."
Listen, Katz. These episodes, more than any other episodes, are they're like Katz's sort of child to pilot pipeline.
Yeah, they really fast tracked this boy.
And yeah, part of that is dead girlfriend, enemy pilot, crush, snafu coax.
Yeah. Well, Camille figured out how they do it, so now they can just do it faster with a bunch more of them.
Yeah. He was the trial efficiency. Run. Exactly. Yeah. Like you mentioned, Colin, during the phone call when they were talking to Wong about this, Wong thinks it's a feint. Wong thinks it's going to be some big distraction and they're doing some different plan. Who knows? Maybe they will come to fruition eventually. Impossible to say.
Yeah.
I don't care for Wong.
Yeah. But Wong will still, do his due diligence and make sure that everything's taken care of Granada, that the citizens of Granada are safe. Bright still buys that, Sarah's a defector. They've gotten plenty from the Titans so far. And yeah, they're going to do their best to stop the colony from even reaching the moon. So hopefully everything will be hunky-dory.
Yeah, it's really funny to me how just everyone on the Argama, like even Camille, and Camille is kind of the most suspicious of Sarah, just assumes that eventually she's going to end up joining the crew because, historically speaking, that's
the track records looked pretty good so far, right?
Yeah.
Camille's played enough Among Us, and he says pink is sus, assuming their colors are all their hair colors.
Yeah.
He goes to her sort of like the holding cell that they have her in, and like she basically lets slip immediately that like Sirocco sort of put her up to this.
Yeah, and it turns out that Camille is good in interrogation.
I was impressed.
It's because he's so stupid and like disarming that people can just say whatever they feel like in front of him, and they realize,
Yeah. Sarah does tell him that this is, like she got permission from Sirocco to do this because this is all Jamaican's plan. It's him to top to bottom. He had the idea to drop a colony on the moon. And
I wonder where he could have gotten that idea from.
Who knows? Yeah. But Sarah can't stand it because she can't stand the like number of innocent people that would die if that happened. And Camille's immediately like, "Oh yeah," and like I'm sure Sirocco doesn't have like some secret plan that's gonna get fucked up if we blow the moon up too, right?
God, Zeta's
just
villain,
like Naruto.
Just like Naruto. Zeta's villains are so good. I like they're all just the most lovable bastards, aren't they? I mean, Jamaican less so, obviously, but like I love Sirocco. I love how conniving he is. I love that like I can tell he has a big stupid plan that we're not going to see for another like 20 episodes.
And it's like a part of also to add to this kind of just like huge amount of infighting that just makes me rub my grubby little hands together and go, yes. The reason that Jamaicon is decided to drop this colony is kind of because like he got screwed over by Sirocco, like, and had to evacuate VB City. So then, in order to like prove that he's cool or whatever, like, is like, I'll just drop a colony in Granada. That'll give me clout again. And it's just this kind of continuing fuckery. I love it.
Don't go clout chasing, everyone.
Yeah, he's like, I wouldn't even have to do this if Sirocco wasn't so hot-headed and you know, left me, like, with my pants down trying to protect the moon on my own, like, et cetera, you know. They're not having a good time together. I'm sure they'll be friends again. I'm sure they'll... Yeah.
I'm sure they'll find a way to peacefully make up in person together, both of them.
Yeah. You know who's also not having a good time together?
Oh boy, Emma and Henkin are analyzing what colony is going to be the one used in the drop, and Henkin will not stop making teen eyes crush emoji at Emma.
Henkin is deranged. Henkin says one of the most batshit lines I've ever heard in a TV show to Emma.
God, what is it in the song?
So, okay,
please?
So they're basically, they're talking, you know, they're saying how they need to use, like the Titans need to use nuclear pulses to sort of, like, aim the colony at the moon. And Emma's like, yeah, I can like fly up there in Gundam Mark II and like detonate those. And Henkin is like, well, you know, if you need to be careful around radiation because it might make you not be able to have kids in the future. Bro.
Yeah.
Do not say this.
Yeah. Like fucking... the good thing is, like, we're definitely supposed to sympathize with Emma and not Henkin, because Emma's just immediately like, I have no intention of getting married.
Mm-hmm. Does he say anything like not deranged in the dub, Sarah?
No, he says the exact same thing, but I didn't read this as deranged because I was just like, that's what men are like, you know?
I mean, I read it as deranged because I am not like that. I don't go around telling people that, like, hey, if you light a nuke too close off to you, say goodbye to kids. Like, that's just like, I don't know. I think Henkin is like trying to be too comfortable with Emma, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, like, shout out to, like, all of my friends who have, like, ever needed to, like, you know, get, like, a hysterectomy or anything like that, because people will just constantly ask them, like, are you sure? Are you sure you want to do something that's gonna make it so you can't have kids in the future? And it's just fucking insane that so many people think it's an okay thing to tell somebody, like...
like, the whole thing with the situation with, like, Henkel and Emma, like, it's just like so relatable as to, like, quote unquote, what women just have to put up with in the workplace. And just like, she is so professional. She is like, I am here to do my job. I am going to do my job. I'm going to be really, really good at my job. And I am going to pretend that my boss doesn't exist and isn't saying all these crazy fucking batshit things to me. And she gets the fuck on with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like really relatable.
Yeah. Like, it's important to point out that Emma is talking about, you know, detonating a nuclear device to make sure that a colony doesn't land on a city on the moon and kill, like, 1 million people. Mm-hmm. Like, she's got her head in the right place.
Yeah.
Like, how old is Henkel?
Probably like 30s.
Yeah, he looks like 45, so probably like anime 32.
Right. Cool. Again, remember, Wong is like 23, so...
God, what?
Henkin is...
Doesn't say.
It doesn't say.
Henkin is 6.398 feet tall. What? That's just like, I mean, I guess he would be tall. I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever.
I mean, you know, like, listen, in the porn star industry, that's what they're after.
That's
so
true.
I guess it tracks.
Oh, after this scene, after she runs off, you see, like, Emma, like, at a table in the cafeteria, and she just says, boy, that was awkward.
The little... Every table in this cafeteria has a little machine.
It's so funny. What is this
That's
thing?
a magic 8-ball.
Yeah, everybody loves the little holographic disco fortune machine. I think that's a cute little thing to have around to like keep people occupied on a ship. But also, she does get the worst fortune though.
Her fortune though. What? Huh?
Yeah, her fortune is that she's gonna get proposed to soon, which she's clearly very mad about.
Yeah, she just like after she leaves where Henkel is, she's now free to just kind of like sink down in despair and just clutch her head in her hands and be like, no.
She makes taxidermied fox face.
Yeah. She really does.
Let Emma be an unmarried ace lesbian. Just
please.
Give us this.
Respect Emma. Very few left.
I'm punching the air. Fist in the air.
The next sort of scene is I think it's still in the cafeteria. We see Camille, Fa, and Katz all sitting together at a table.
Yeah, I love this cafeteria. Like, it has trees in it.
It's very lush. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the kind of sci-fi I like, where everything, it's just so lived in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like, people are here, instead of it just being shiny. It's so good. I love it.
Yeah. You gotta keep that air fresh, you know?
Yeah, gotta get that O2, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Camille and Fa are both telling Katz that he needs to stay away from Sarah because he does not need to get into a 4 situation.
Yeah, it's like, buddy, you literally saw what happened. Do not do this thing.
Yeah. And Katz is like, well, you're not my commanding officer, so I don't have to listen to you, so I'm going to go leave and pine for my fake traitor girlfriend, I guess.
Yeah, to which Camille is like, Katz, what would Amuro say if he heard you being so cheeky to me right now?
WWAD.
You know, fucking, probably, who knows? Probably, like, Amuro would be like, oh, you shouldn't do it, and then wistfully look out a window and think about Lala for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it's happening again.
Yeah.
Everything happens so much.
Everything happens so much.
Yeah. Then Fa gets mad because she's like, Camille, you're not an intelligence officer. You shouldn't be going into rooms alone with teenage pilots. I think you're cheating on me. Please do not. You're a bad boy, etc., etc.
You sound like a Christian parent in this scene.
In the sub, does Camille say, "Hey, why the 3rd degree"?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
He does.
I only know what that is because I listened to the Behind the Bastards series on police brutality.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I know what that is.
God, just like it. Oh, I like this. I like when the drama is this simple, you know?
Yeah, I also wanted to know, before we move on from the scene, I just wanted to know how, like, Camille is very just, like, calm in this scene, but clearly, like, far just repressing something here. He's very kind of, like,
I wonder what.
Quiet, but on edge.
What could he possibly be repressing?
I'm
Yeah.
sure. I think it's fine.
This is, I think this is definitely kind of where Camille's character is going to continue to go. That, you know, he is going to get, and you know, we get a lot of, like, comments here and there over the next couple of episodes of Bright just being like, oh man, yeah, like, you know, he's matured. I don't really have to, like, correct him. He's doing his job really well. And everyone's like, you know, commenting on that. And really it's just that, like, you know, Camille's kind of, like, learning how to, like, stamp down his own emotions instead of actually, like, learning to deal with them.
Conceal,
which
don't
is also
feel.
Yeah, which is also probably why he and Fa keep fighting all the time, constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because this is actually the next scene where Rekoa brings Bright his lunchie, his orifices, so he gets to eat in the orifices room.
Little coffee and some eggs and a salad or something.
Yeah. No burger this time. Disappointing.
Not in this episode.
But he's talking about, he's like concerned about the child soldiers.
Yeah.
Why would you be?
I think my favorite quote from this whole exchange between them is you know, about, like, is Sarah, like, a spy? Is she too young to be a soldier? Da 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 da. And Bright just says, when using a new type for battle, age is irrelevant.
Right.
Yep. Same thing.
Forget what you knew about the rules.
But then, like, so the conversation continues, and Bright sort of says that he doesn't, like, they talk about Camille, and Bright's like, I don't think Camille is a new type yet.
Yeah, I guess like I feel like it's sort of getting at maybe he's not like in full like in tune with his emotions like Amuro was at a certain point.
So I just wanted to like question because Camille has clearly displayed psychic abilities. Like everyone has seen this and known this. But, like, is there like a certain level of control or maturity that comes with being a new type?
I think the thing that Bright's getting at, and this is, because, time and time again, we see this kind of, like, pointed at as, like, oh, what is a new type's potential or abilities or whatever, and Bright's one of the few people who has seen, like, that, what we kind of think of as the full real potential of being a new type is, and that's when, Amuro helped everybody escape from, Aboako from blowing up at the end of Mobile Suit Gundam, and I think that's what he's pointing to, is, like, Camille clearly has, like, potential to become that, but he has not become the capital N new type yet. He hasn't fully expanded his consciousness in the way that like Amuro did by the end of that anime.
Yeah,
he can't like call on his powers like Amuro did.
Yeah.
We'll get there though. I'm sure we're only halfway
and
through.
Also in this scene, because I want to come back to it later, he says that Camille is just like him when he was younger.
I think that's Bright making a funny joke, because in the sub he says that oh, Camille's just like me when I was younger. He has such a temper, which in the context of how he's been talking about Camille, very clearly like Camille doesn't have a temper in his opinion, and he does kind of like look back at Rekoa as he like leaves with like a little like sidelong glance. So I think this is Bright trying to make a joke to say that, oh yeah, Camille has such a temper just like me, to say that Camille does not have a temper at all.
Yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
Or that Camille has figured out how to deal with his anger as far as like, combat and stuff is concerned.
Bright, I gotta say you're not very good at jokes.
Bright's not a very funny guy. He's like more just a straightforward, bland oatmeal kind of guy. That's okay though.
I hate to say this, but I cannot envision Bright making a dad joke. Like, I can't...
I feel like Bright's thing is that he's just explicitly not funny at all. Like, he can't make a joke.
He's never been funny on purpose. The only time he's funny is when he's eating burger.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Bright is the guy in the friend group who, like, kind of gets mercilessly bullied and never knows what's going on, but everyone kind of loves anyway. Mm-hmm.
Because he always brings in burgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he orders the pizza.
Ah, Mamma Mia!
Hey, is it Yazan time?
Y'all remember the TV show Beavis and Butthead? Yazan is literally Beavis. Like, you look at that man and you tell me he does not look like Beavis.
Yes.
Like, he is, we said this in pre-recording, he is a cockroach given human form.
He's Kafka-esque.
I love this asshole so much.
I hate him.
He's endeared himself to me by being, like, the most rancid, rotten guy. And, like, the best part... I mean, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but, like, the best part is he's just a normal guy. He's not, like, some psycho new type. He's just a guy who sucks. That's his whole thing.
Yeah. He's really good at piloting, and he kind of fucking sucks.
He's just the guy who sucks. That's his deal. That's, like, his title card.
Yeah, because, like, it's, the Radish has, like, finally figured out which colony it is, and on the Alexandria, they're trying to get, everybody sorted and ready to go, but, like, Jamaican tells them, they can't go out yet, they're gonna try and draw, like, the Radish out, and but, like, if they can pull this operation off, then everybody get a free week of vacation, and Yazan's just like, fuck you, let me go out there and beat the shit out of them right now. Let me at them.
Yeah, he fucking hates Jamaicon.
He has rabies, I think.
He is. He's fairly feral.
Oh, man. He's definitely the most feral character we've seen so far.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you give Jared the feral stone and just let him, and he turns into Yazan and just begins posting.
This is like, you know how like some Pokemon evolve when you have to like max out their friendship stat? Yazan's the opposite. You have to make Jared your enemy, and then when he levels up, he becomes Yazan.
The one thing I truly want is for someone to make a Yazan drill like combined.
Oh yes.
Oh, he is unhinged.
He's this space Joker.
Yeah, tricked. My next note is about, speaking of tricked, my next note is about Sarah's trick.
Yeah, what do you do, Sarah?
Well, I just think that if I saw that someone very obviously had a crush on me and I was in enemy territory, I would just kind of clumsily utilize that crush on me and like flatter that person and say, well, you're probably really strong. You're probably like a really great mobile suit pilot. Why don't you like come out to the hangar with me and I'll be your prisoner and you can put me in the mobile suit and I'll teach you how to pilot it and we'll just be fine.
Yeah.
And then that person would be a 14-year-old boy and would fucking fall for it because they're an
Hook,
idiot.
line, and sinker.
This is, God, I love Sarah so much.
Sarah's
She's like
great.
flat out one of my favorite Zeta characters. She's so good.
Like, this is like so clumsy, but it works because it's Cats.
It works because Sarah's a new type and she's clearly smart because she's trained for it, and Cats has no brain cells. He never had one to begin with.
It's like, yeah,
Cats
this
is just girl.
Yeah.
Girl, attention! Oh boy.
I'm sure the original plan was for Sarah to do this to Camille and just, whatever, Katz is stupider, I'll do it on him.
It's delightful. So he's like guiding her out, and we cut over to Granada.
Oh, I was gonna say that, like, she literally also does hug Katz and say, "What if I train you to pilot a Hyzak?" Just
Right,
kidding,
yeah.
haha.
Unless. And then we cut over to Granada. We cut over to Granada. Wong, for some reason, the mayor of Granada can't evacuate people, but Wong can, I guess. And he won't do it because his whole thing is like, no, like if we evacuate, people are going to lose faith in Ayug, and if Ayug fails, they're going to die no matter what. So let's just stay put and see what happens. And
I really hate watching this in 2020, and the guy is like, oh, we can't enact any security precautions because the general public will panic if we try and protect them in any way. Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Foresight.
Yeah, when in reality, knowing everything that we do about Wong, and he had just gotten off the phone with, famed bastard Melanie Hugh Carbine that we talked about last episode.
You see him, like, the cut of him at the end.
Yeah, who also agrees that they should keep everybody in place, and then the mayor of Granada comes in and is like, "Oh, should and eventually gets convinced that we did to not evacuate people and leave them in place." This is probably because they don't want people to stop working either. Like Ayug is still like a venture capital war machine funded organization.
You get no holiday time for potential city annihilation via colony.
Yeah, once Ayug save you, you'll get a week's holiday.
Workers' comp does not cover this.
Yeah, everything we know about the moon is that it's a capitalist hellscape. So, yeah, it all checks out.
I'm sorry, the what?
Oh, I'm sorry, the moom. The moom is a capitalist.
The moom. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. I guess you just misspoke. Yeah. We cut over to the battle, and like the budget's starting to kick in because Emma just like straight up rips the head off of a Zaku, or a Hyzak rather. I think
she does this several times in the episodes, I think.
Emma sort of goes sicko mode a little bit in these ones, doesn't she?
Emma?
Yeah.
Listen, she is super, super eager to get into battle because she just wants to get the fuck away from Henkel. So she's like, please let me launch, please let me fight. I love to fight. Now fighting is my life's passion. I must be in the battlefield and anywhere away from my creepy boss.
And not only that...
Mood.
Yeah, not only that, but like at this point, like, Katz hasn't thrown a spanner into the works. Emma doesn't really have anyone to babysit. Like, Rekko is not causing problems. Camille's not causing problems. So Emma has like free reign. She has no one to like pay attention to. So now she can like fully unleash her abilities of just like death. It's good. I mean, not good because she's killing, but like it's good.
Yeah. The ankle weights are off, and by ankle weights we mean teens and children.
Yeah.
She stores her Rock Lee training weights in her big hair.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Argama starts firing all of its cannons to knock the colony off course, or to begin knocking off course for Emma to then go in and fire off one of these nuclear pulses. And Yazan and Camille are moving in to fight each other, and it's just we're getting a good time here.
Yeah. Katz kind of comes out with Sarah at gunpoint and is like, "Hey, we got a phone call of someone like parked their car outside. Someone parked their Hyzak outside the launch pad number 2, and we gotta move it, please, thanks."
Yeah, and like the master chief or whoever this is on deck is immediately like, "Yeah, whatever," and starts yelling at people to get on defensive guns because they are being shot at.
God, Master Chief's in this? Wow,
we are fucking under attack, is what he says. And like he leads Sarah to her Hyzak, and she gets in and she's like, she gives him a hug, and then she's like, by the way, the plant has a blind spot below it, and bye, and she just like shoves him off and she flies away.
Yeah. She fucking punches the shit out of him.
It's really funny.
Katz has the audacity to be surprised, and like he cries.
He starts firing at Hyzak with his pistol, like, bro, it's not gonna work, buddy.
I thought you liked me.
Then Fa shows up and is immediately like, "You're an idiot. Why are you doing this? Get out of here.
You're on the runway, homie."
Fa's like the voice acting for Fa is really funny here, because like she kind of runs out and she finds Katz just like sitting in the parking lot crying, and she's like, "Katz, where did?" And then sort of realizes what's happened and just goes, "No."
You didn't.
Yeah, like just it's really good.
It's great.
Yeah, then we're kind of the boys are fighting.
Yeah.
The boys are fighting. I like this like very quick rivalry that sprouted up between Yazan and Camille, because Yazan is just like so fierce, and I feel like it sort of stems from him being surprised that he can't like immediately tear through Camille like he can 90% of the other mobile suits he fights.
Yeah.
So he's like he like immediately starts to also hate Camille and Zeta Gundam like Jared does, even though he doesn't really have as much of a reason for it.
He does tell Camille that he fights like a child, though, that's a pretty good,
Yeah, got it in one, homie.
My note about the fighting is that I really like how, to fight in zero gravity, the mobile suits have to like wrestle and grip each other and like kind of cuddle, because like there's nothing else to like
you can't bounce
fight.
off of stuff.
Yeah, like so there's only two mobile suits and they just kind of have to dock.
Yep.
It's just Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's not gay at all.
There's nothing homoerotic about this.
Yeah. And like we see the Gundam Mark II with Emma like doing this a lot with like Zaku's. They kind of just like tackle each other. It's cool. I like it.
Just like all these robots have command grabs, and I love to see it.
Yeah.
And they're fighting, and like Camille isn't really doing so hot because I like you hear Katz mention it as Sarah tells him it, but like the plant has this sort of panoramic camera that can see almost everywhere around it.
Yeah.
And as this is happening, after Fa, I guess Katz relays information to Fa, and then Fa radios Camille saying that like you gotta go underneath it, and he's like, aha.
Specifically, new type radios, Camille.
Yeah.
Was it new type radio?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, I couldn't tell either way. I thought it was regular radio. I don't think...
Well, actually, wait, no, because usually when new type shit is happening, the show is very, very clear in telling you that it's happening by, like, depicting people outside their mobile suits.
I don't think Fa can just do that, you know?
Is this the part, though, where we get the cool faces, or is that next episode?
No, that's like the third episode, I think.
Okay, cool.
Because I've drawn a little picture of it in my notes.
Yeah.
Sick as fuck.
That's not yet.
Okay.
But yeah, he hears the call and he's like, oh, okay, let me do that. And he does it. And he I think blows off part of the plant's leg.
Yeah.
So it has to escape.
Oh yeah, it's basically he gets underneath him and then shoots all of his little shield arm rockets and blows off Yazan's leg, and Yazan has to get the fuck out of there. Yeah, Emma cuts off a Hyzak's hand too, and then swoops in, activates the colony's nuclear pulse, and the day is saved. The colony is knocked off course, and it's gonna hit Granada about 180 kilometers away from the city.
Nice and safe.
Yeah, there is a very indulgent shot. Of
it's
the
really
colony
good.
Just landing on the moon and all this fucking dust cloud shit kicking up. Mwah.
It's good. And I like that, as this happens, you also see Wong and the mayor of Granada, their hands are shaking in the office because they're, really scared of it, even though it's, going off course, and they realize, oh, they're good.
Wong
just dramatically drops his whiskey.
Yeah.
They're drinking to cope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Katz gets thrown in horny teen jail.
Yep.
And just kind of sits on his knees and thinks about Sarah and says, are humans difficult to trust?
Yeah.
Which I guess, they are.
Maybe new types seem to be, homie.
Yeah, in the dub, the line he says is it wrong for me to trust other people? Yes. Yes, it is, Katz.
You're in war, so yeah.
Yeah. He just does the thing that Amuro does in episode 19 of 0079, where he just sits in jail and cries.
Yep.
And has character development.
Yeah.
Yeah, people constantly try to compare Camille to Amuro, but Katz is truly the Amuro of the season.
Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
I mean, explicitly in the context of the show, too.
Explicit, and there's more of this later on, but like because he has Amuro's gun, he has ray gun. And,
hey!
Listen, they said that Gundam didn't have ray guns. They were wrong. There's one.
Ronald Ray.
But like he keeps like using it, and he uses it to do like quote unquote brave stuff, but it's actually just like stupid stuff, and it fucks him over because like he kind of wants to think that he's gonna be Amuro because like he grew up with Amuro and with Amuro kind of T-posing over his childhood, metaphorically speaking.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say, Sarah. Bravery and stupidity are two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, but Amuro got away with it because he was the actual protagonist.
He had Gundam, you see.
Whereas Katz is... I'm sure he'll get there eventually.
Katz doesn't have Gundam.
Yeah, you listen. He gets his own series in 2019.
No. Next up.
Episode 26.
The Ghost of Zeon. Hit it, Sarah.
So, Jared is... No, not Jared. Yazan is here, which is Jared cubed. He's here, he's nasty and creepy. Some stuff happens, a bunch of stuff happens, but basically him and Emma end up fighting in the area that is beside this, like, derelict Zeon worship, like, one of the big red ones from 0079. It's really cool. It's derelict. They're, like, fighting around it, it's cool. Katz ends up going out, sort of hands over the G-defense into the Gundam. That might be next episode.
No, it's this one.
Yeah, so Emma's doing fighting. In the middle of the fighting, Camille senses the vibes, and he's like, oh shit, I gotta go out there too. He goes out there too. After some more stuff and fighting, Katz and Emma end up, like, on foot inside the big ghost ship. They confront an enemy guy there, and then Camille kind of comes in while fighting Yazan in their mobile suits. They're in the hangar of the ghost ship. Katz and Emma are there on foot. Katz ends up doing hacking and hacks this old Gelgug who's there to sort of shoot Yazan, injures him, Yazan runs away. Camille and Emma like chase him, and then Yazan does Yazan's trick, which I'm not going to spoil for you right now. We'll get to it at the end of the episode. It's cool.
Yeah. It's just like, reading the title, I was like, oh shit, things are gonna pop up. But like, it's still really cool in the actual episode. It's like, yeah, there's just like creepy space debris floating around everywhere. Like a remnant of yesterwar is the term that Yazan uses.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's just, you know how I fucking love in real life, I love abandoned buildings. I love quote unquote urban exploration.
Yeah.
I've done quite a lot of it in like Scotland, where there are just cool old brutalist buildings sitting in the middle of the countryside that you go and explore, and it's like the funnest shit ever. Okay, what if it was in space?
That's how to make literally anything cooler.
Yeah. It's like, you know, remember the rat-infested ghost cruise ship that showed up on the American coastline a couple years back? That's just all it is.
Yeah, what if it was a Zeon cruise ship instead?
I want to make an Instagram account dedicated just to exploring this ship.
Buzz. It's just, I mean, I think you'll find you might not be able to do that after this episode ends.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's more around, though. We'll find one for you.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we all saw 0079. There's more around.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this one sort of starts out. Yazan is real mad about the plants having that blind spot. And he's so mad that Jamaican just is, like, giving up on him. He's like, whatever, like, I'm gonna leave without you. Yeah. You go do whatever the hell you want to. Like, I'm not responsible for your stupid antics. Go get a rabies vaccine or something.
Here's the thing, Yazan does get his Gaplant fixed, so they've fixed the camera issue. And also, I love his bright yellow uniform. I love it so much.
It's cool!
Have we ever seen anyone else in a bright yellow uniform?
No, I don't think so.
He just gets one because he wanted it. He wanted to be special.
I can't wait till you see him without the uniform either.
The reason he has a special uniform is because the person, the Titan's official tailor, is afraid that he's gonna bite them if he said no.
I mean, yeah.
Yazan is the guy who first posted to stick your fingers into my cage. I promise I won't bite you.
Yeah. I will say, Yazan is a feral goblin man, but I do want to point out that he is pretty smart when he comes to this stuff, because like Jamaican's like chastising him for like preparing as if they're going into battle when they're heading back to base to resupply, and Yazan points out that like, hey, what happens if the Argama and the Radish like follow us and pursue us as we try and leave? If we're not ready to fight, we're gonna get fucking owned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, Yazan is Jamaican's subordinate, I think.
Yeah.
But, like, that doesn't seem to really matter, because Yazan just kind of snarks and yells and argues and quibbles and quarrels and diatribes with Jamaican until Jamaican is like, fucking fine, sortie.
How can you say no to a face like that?
They're very much kind of like the dark opposite of like Quattro and Bright. Because, like, like, Quattro knows a lot more about mobile suit combat than Bright does, and Bright's more of a ship guy. But, like, they're both still intelligent, they recognize what the other can, like, contribute, and, like, they work together even though there's a disparity between their authority on the ship. Whereas Yazan and Jamaican, one, Jamaican's a fucking idiot, and two, they just won't stop fighting. The Alexandria is a clown car, and I love it.
It's like, okay, so you know that the diagram I drew last week of like the Argama and like who has a crush on who?
Yeah.
See, this is the opposite of that. It's just who has
who has beef.
The Homestuck thing with who?
Oh,
Kismesis.
I didn't want to say it.
Thanks.
I'm really glad I have no idea what that means.
And you
I
hopefully you never will. I mean, I don't either. I know it's a bad thing though. I know I don't want to know. And then Yazan flows over to his bro Adol.
Yeah, Chief Petty Officer Adol, which I guess is like Yazan's second in command on the squad or whatever. Mm-hmm. And tells him like, hey, if we get into a fight, we need to draw the mobile suits back to the Alexandria instead of keeping them where they're at. Because we're not using the Alexandria to its full potential. It's got all these great weapons, and we're not, we can't beat the Argama unless we put the Alexandria into use. And then wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We must teach Jamaican the fears to fighting a battle. And then he grabs the doll by the balls.
You ever grab? It was what's it called? Cupping. That was the thing for a while, I think, in high school.
Yeah,
probably. Just guys being dudes, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad I never went to high school.
High school.
This green-haired boy child is the Moa of the Yazan.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
But it's like if Yazan is like Jared Evolution 3, then this child, what's the name? Adol. Is like Moa 0.3.
Well, so they're a part of, like, you would think that they'd be a part of the same evolution. They just, like, they'd be something that had, like, different sprites for, like, gender dysmorphia, or not dysmorphia, what's the term?
Dimorphism.
Yeah, for gender dimorphism. But since, like, this is pretty early in Gundam, instead it's like a Nidorina kind of situation.
Right,
and we all know, like, like, Moar is clearly, like, a Nido Queen by this point. And we just know that, like, Nidorina's, line has better stats. It's just, it's flat out true. I don't know if it's actually true or not.
They're both actually really good Pokemon in different ways. I had a Nidoking a couple seasons ago and it was good. Anyway.
Okay. But yeah, sort of, to speak a bit more on Adal, like, he's kind of seems to be, like, assigned to Yazan just to kind of make Yazan feel good about himself, because, like...
He's his yes man.
Yeah, pretty much. And just as someone for Yazan to, like, bully to make himself feel cool. Because
that tracks.
He grabs this boy's balls for no reason other than to just assert dominance, really. Like, he's not even threatening him. He's not trying to get anything out of him. He just likes it.
He just is. It's just a fun thing for him to do. He's a little freak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the thing is if he doesn't realize what's going on, that he's basically just like a pawn between Yazan and Jamaican. I know I go back and forth Jamaican and Jamaican all the time, but fucking whatever, it's a dumb name.
We'll be doing it for long.
Yeah, if he doesn't get a handle on this and start like looking out for himself, Adal's just going to be stuck rolling in the deep out in space somewhere.
Yeah, we could have had it all. Instead, you had to say that. The next scene is also really, really funny to me. So after this conversation between Yazan and Adal, we cut over to the bridge of the Argama, or I guess the Radish. And Hankin's talking to Emma, and they're talking about how the G Defensor's ready, and she's going to have it moved over into the hangar. And then Hankin asks her if she wants to go out for tea, and she says no with the heart emoji.
So, again, like, just some great voice work here, where she's like, no.
Yeah, it's just so... I love Emma so much.
Yes. God, Emma fucking rules. What if this show was just Emma? What if Hankin wasn't in the show? It'd be better for it.
Prequel series of Emma and her girlfriend's adventures across the great state, the great country of America.
Oh, yeah, like that's
the great Zeta country.
Oh man,
I was like, gonna say great state, but great Zeta country is good.
Like that's kind of like the OAV series that ends up being like the one attached to Zeta is 0083 because it's kind of it's
like the story of the Titans, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like the story of like Xeon remnants that like do an attack after the war ends, and is kind of like the reason why the Titans get formed. Like it is the direct political thing that happens for the Titans to come around and to explain why, Xeon doesn't show up in Zeta until like another 5 or 6 episodes. But like the problem with that is since it takes place 5 years before this, you couldn't possibly have Emma make a cameo in it because she'd be 14, which that just sucks. We need that Emma prequel series.
And we need it to just take place entirely on Earth and feature 0 mobile suits whatsoever. It's just about car problems.
Yeah. It's Zeta Gundam The Origin, and it's just Emma playing volleyball and fixing cars in the American Northwest.
Yeah, it's diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
Diners, drive-ins, and drives. Wait, shit. There's already a drive-in. That's such shit. Fuck.
If you can dodge a drive, you can drive a drive.
Hey. But also, to get back to the scene, after Emma is like, no, we just pan over to the bridge crew who say, like, as loudly as they possibly can, he doesn't have a clue about women.
It's good. It's funny. Get his ass.
Yeah.
Emma is so strong for not having simply killed this man. I hope she gets to.
She'll do it and, like, no one will bat an eye.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely, like, Emma's a better pilot than Yazan is, but I think what we're going to learn is that Emma has a lot of things that she can learn from Yazan in the next couple of episodes.
Sometimes you can get information from even the most humble insect.
Yeah. Yazan and Adal launch out with a bunch of Hyzax, because they've found, they're going to try and make an attack on the Argama to, like, lure them back to the Alexandria. Here's the thing I don't get. On the Argama, they're following a ship called the Dagosa Gear. I don't think we see this ship, and I don't know what ship it is.
The Dagosa Gear, that's Siroko's ship.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Because there's a scene of, like, Camille is just kind of standing on the bridge for a reason, and he just, like... ominously says some shit about, like, the Dogos gear is... I don't even know what he says. But him and Bright have, like, a conversation about how the Dogos gear has just, like, mad, rancid vibes.
Yeah.
Which is how you know it's Siroko's ship.
Yeah, I guess this is probably the first time we know that that's the name of the ship, because, like...
No, they mention it.
Oh, okay.
They mentioned it during the fight for the moon.
Okay, I'm just an idiot then. Because I didn't know if this was a reference to Sirocco or if this was like foreshadowing for Haman or anything like that. But like, I thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, no, it's okay. You're still the expert here, so we will forgive this transgression.
Like for me, for us, like, who don't know about Haman, like, I don't know anything about Haman's vibes other than she looks fresh as fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I see bad space vibes. I know that's Space Dracula.
Yeah. The only thing that we know about Haman's vibes is that they be in the trap. That's all that we know.
She's tight as fuck.
So yeah, they're Yazan and Adol are, like, bantering a little bit. And as Emma is starting to sortie, she's talking with Katz, who wants to fight, and she's like, "Yeah, your day will come. Like, you know, we don't need you right now.
Guess really thinks he's going to be allowed to pilot after last episode's hijinks, huh?
Yeah, and I love that. It's like, the show is so formulaic in certain ways because, like, hearing Emma talk to Katz about, like, yeah, you know, you don't need to pilot anything yet, like, hold back. You know that boy is, like, about 40 seconds away from jumping in the G-Defensor and flying after her.
Yeah, listen, it's the child-to-pilot pipeline.
Exactly. But we do the fighting. Emma launches, and, like, yeah, we sort of see Yazan plans in action to sort of, like, get the Argama near the Alexandria.
It's the radish. It's the radish that they're going after.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, because they're trying to get the radish near to the Alexandria so they can blow it with big cannons and whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, they would really want to blow up the Argama with big cannons because, like, you know, it's a rad ship, but they'll have this one. It's not quite as rad,
it's
but...
not, yeah. That's,
And listen, if they went after the Argama, then the radish would just show up and they'd have to blow both of them up anyway. So, you know, this root vegetable is right here. We're gonna slice it up. We're gonna make some borscht or whatever you do with turnips or radishes or, yeah.
You can roast them real good. Get, like, radishes, get some carrots, some parsnips too. It's good.
If you're doing keto, mashed turnips are a really good substitute for mashed potatoes for stuff like shepherd's pie and stuff too.
There we go. We get this beautiful beam saber fight. The animation is like really, really sick here. It's like Yazan does an attack and it does the thing. It does like a really short Sakuga shot on his face as he yells and like swings the beam. It's just, it's really good. Wow, cool robot.
The way because 0079 did this well, where it like has little like shaped triangle or funny shaped inserts of the pilot into like the scene, but just like Zeta kind of does it so well. It just like hones that art just like putting a pilot's eyes in the scene while there's the mobile suit. Rules.
Good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
Katz decides to steal a G-Defensor and flies off with it.
As one does.
Yep.
Yeah.
And obviously Henkel is like, great, a child is stealing a mobile suit. Allow him to. He will learn something from this. I love child soldiers. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah. This is where we see the old battleship show up. It's a big red old battleship, Xeon ship from the 1 Year War.
It's a Guazine.
Yeah. Katz is like, oh wow, cool ship, and flies by it. He's trying to like get with the Gundam Mark II so that they can dock together. Yazan keeps like getting between them, and Katz is like, all right, cool, I'm gonna shoot Yazan, and accidentally fires off a flare instead.
Yeah, he doesn't. He has no idea what he's doing right now.
Yeah.
And I think of like this is cool to me because it's like Emma and Katz flying together as a team, and like Yazan and Adal flying together as a team, and it's like you wouldn't really suspect Yazan to be a sort of team player in the pilot, but like he's really good at what he does, so it's cool that he's like. I feel like a lot of the times we don't see good teamwork from the bad guys in Gundam a lot of the time, so it's cool to see him we have tactics, we know what these are for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like both Adal and Katz are just basically kind of useless.
Yeah.
But still end up doing
Adal
cool
can at
shit.
least like shoulder tackle Emma out of the way to keep them from joining up or whatever. Emma does let out a psychic cry which wakes Camille up. And it's new type time.
well, more important than new type time, when Camille wakes up, we do see he has no sleeves.
Surely this is important.
Yeah, I mean, one might think of this scene where he was just basically watching the battle on his dream cam in his head during his sleep, just kind of psychically there to be some kind of character development of his new type abilities, but the real character development that they don't want you to know about, the doctors don't want you to know about, is that Camille has no sleep.
Yeah. We can talk, you can listen to all manner of much more intelligent Gundam podcasts, but only Wow Cool Robot will be able to identify someone's ideology based on their sleeves. That's our wheelhouse. Yeah.
We are the sartorial geniuses of the Gundam podcasting world.
But yeah, Bright gives Camille the okay to take the Zeta out. He recognizes and respects Camille's, new type abilities, and is like, yeah, fucking go for it. Go save the radish. And as he launches, says he's very similar to Amuro Ray, which I think is like Bright realizing that his statement earlier that, you know, Camille's not a new type yet is maybe off the mark.
Yeah, and I love how, like, Camille doesn't even try to make any kind of excuse. He's just like, yeah, Bright, like, I had a feeling. I feel it. Like,
I got a feeling.
In the air tonight.
Yeah.
And Bright just completely trusts it, and it's good.
I think maybe the fact that he didn't have an excuse this time, that he just said, I feel it, is like, that's enough for Bright to be like, okay, you're not giving excuses like, this is something that you can't explain. Go for it, buddy.
Yeah.
Go get their ass.
And we do get to see the Zeta take off and turn into a Dorito, finally.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
You're a plane, you're a pain, you're a plane, you're a pain.
Yeah. And in the Zeta, Camille's able to, like, break up the fight with Yazan, Nadal, and Emma and Katz enough for Emma and Katz to truly dock now. So the Gundam finally get G-Defensor. It looks fine. I wish it was the same sort of darker shade of blue as Gundam Mark II is, so it matched a little bit better, but alas.
And I like as well how, like, at first there's we scene of Emma and Katz, and they're, like, just having trouble lining up the G-Defensor. Like, they don't get it immediately the way fucking happened in 079, where, like, he just did it because he was a fucking genius or whatever. Like, this isn't easy.
No.
They have to, there's a few tries.
Yeah,
and it's,
I just
like
though.
it.
Yeah. But yeah, I know we talked about this offline at some point, but I do like the fact that the G Defensor is a different shade of blue, just so it's easier to read, like, the difference in, like, silhouette and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But a big thing is, you know, Mark II gets a big backpack and a big old gun.
A big old gun enough to, like, annihilate a Zaku in one go. Or a Hyzak still. I'm still not used to calling him that.
What if a gun was just really big?
Yo, what if you just made it bigger? It's good.
Wow, cool big gun.
Wow, cool gun. And after Kat sort of docks with Emma, he's, like, left in just the little escape pod for the G Defensor. Like, I guess the core.
Like, you know, they still have core fighters. They're just even smaller now.
Yeah. So Adal is, like, trying to, like, just, like, he's like the face with, like, the outstretched hand meme trying to get Katz right now, chasing him all over the Guazine.
Yeah, they really, like, they use the big ghost ship really well and just, like, play hide and seek around it. And there's just so many just dark cavities inside the ship for a little ship to hide in.
Yeah.
And the episode is really good at just kind of constructing the mood and the space of this ghost ship. Almost like Zeon is kind of some kind of important thing, maybe.
Yeah,
probably not.
Sorry.
Who knows?
Probably not, yes.
But yeah, Yazan and Camille continue to fight around the ship. Adal kind of, I guess his head gets blown off, and he crashes into the ship.
Katz, like, accidentally blows off his Hyzak's head by just, like, hitting a random button in the escape pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, finds Katz's landed core fighter and decides to get out and chase Katz down, while Katz basically, like, runs around the ship trying to, like, find, like, weapons that he can turn on or something. Like, he's trying so hard.
There's a really funny shot of Katz on the bridge of this ship, and then, like, an empty Zeon normal suit floats over, and, like, the hand comically, like, rests on his shoulder, and he turns around, it's just, like, an empty suit, but it's like, oh, I love to see the Zeon normal suits, I miss those things.
It's the dead guy from the OP from, like, 17 episodes
he got away from Saturn, he finally made it to, I guess, around Earth.
Yeah, here he is.
Yeah. It's a very Scooby-Doo moment. He's come here to, you know, do some kind of investment real estate scheme. And, Katz and Haro they're gonna pull his mask off, and it's gonna turn out to be old Zeon Jenkins.
Old Zeon Jenkins. Listen, hey, I was genuinely quite scared here. Okay, don't make it over. I'm not afraid to say.
You thought it was
I'm
like
not afraid to admit when
body?
I'm afraid. I think it's paralleling to this scene whenever fucking Jamiroquai just kind of starts firing on them. Jamaicon.
Yeah, at some point he's like, whatever, we have to fight them because they're a minute out from our range, and, like, Yazan is just gonna have to deal with it and move out of the way when we start firing.
Yeah, it's weird how, like, he just starts firing even though he might, like, accidentally hit Yazan and accidentally kill Yazan. He's willing to shoot anyway.
Yeah.
Curious.
Yeah, most curious.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Emma parks the Gundam on the ship and gets out to go find and rescue Kats, because she's like, if we let Kats die here, we'd wonder why we let him come to space to begin with, which, yeah, true.
Checks out.
Is this when she, like, walks past the old green Gelgoog?
No, you see that, you see an old green Gelgoog trash that has, like, one arm. It's, like, propped up against the wall. I think at some point, the fight between Camille and Yazan, like, moves into the hangar of this ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you sort of get, like, a panning shot of the whole, like, decrepit hangar, and you see this, Chekhov's Gelgoog right there.
Yeah.
Chekhov's Gelgoog.
Emma finds Kats on the bridge, who's, like, trying and failing to get, like, the weapons up and running. And they have a little chat, and then a doll rolls in, and they start having a little shootout in here, until they both run out of bullets, and, Camille and Yazan are fighting down in the hangar, and they also run out of gun juice, and it's just, they're having a time out here.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
This is where I have the note that, like, Kats ends up becoming, like, a hostage of a doll.
Yeah.
But, like,
Yeah.
the reason that he ends up in this situation is because he draws his ray gun and, like, just, like, kind of points it at Adal and, like, is like, pew pew, yeah, I'm gonna be hero, beefs it, and ends up as a hostage.
Yeah.
And, like, Adal has, like, a knife he's gonna stab Kats with, and Emma's like, oh, God, for fuck's sake, my God. And it's just, like, because he has a ray gun, because he wants to be Amuro, Kats, please don't do this.
Yeah.
Do not do this thing.
But, Emma takes control of the situation, gives the doll her gun, gives the doll her jetpack, because so a doll will, like, leave and abandon them here and not stab Kats with a knife. And, but then, I guess, like, a stray beam shot hits the bridge, blows it open, and just fucking murders a doll. So they're fine now, I guess.
Which, and that shot was definitely a blast from, like, the Alexandria, because earlier, like, Henkin was like, fire shots, but make sure you don't hit that Xeon ship.
Yeah.
So, confirmed.
Yeah.
Not so friendly fire now, eh?
Surely there won't be any sort of karmic retribution for this.
Who knows?
Yeah. But after this scene resolves, Kats and Emma go on down to the hangar where the Gelgoog is and where the boys are fighting.
Yeah.
Kat sees all this happening. He decides, I'm gonna be a hero. He hasn't learned his lesson the first 10 times. He jumps in the Gelgoog and, like, he tries to turn it on, doesn't work, obviously. And then he, like, just, like, starts ripping wires out from underneath the sort of control panel. And he, like, literally hot wires the Gelgoog back alive. It's like, it's just very funny that, like, I guess you can hotwire an entire mobile suit the same way you can hotwire a car, and it just happens.
I guess it makes sense, because, like, the Gelgoog, he says, is, like, one of the few models that he actually, like, has experience with from the museum. I'm sure he had to fix it plenty of times, so yeah.
I guess they have, like, nuclear reactors that probably still have a little bit of juice left in them.
Yeah.
Because he's doing it and he's like, oh, just like the museum. And I'm just like, I love that, because, like, Hayato raised him. Hayato was the director of the JoJo's Place.
Kuraba.
The Air and Space Museum?
The Air and Space Museum. No, Cape Canaveral, that's what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
The JoJo's Place.
Yeah.
And just, like, because he kind of grew up in this museum, grew up with all these, like, vintage mobile suits, he could do it. I love that. Just
Good for him.
that the payoff. This Chekhov's Cape Canaveral Museum.
Chekhov's Canaveral. And when he activates it, like, and you see the Goku it's like holding a rocket launcher.
Yeah.
And he does it, and, like, the blast is enough to, like, I think it, like, shoots off one of the Gaplant's hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Yazan says after, he's like, but I still have this arm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That he grabs the
Thank you,
Gelgoog's,
Liquid.
like, cool double beam saber, and
The beam Naginata is so freaking sick. Oh my god.
I did Pogger's face when he did that. It was really cool.
It's just,
Sorry.
look, swords are cool as hell. The only way to make a sword cooler is put it on a stick.
And also have two of them be like
Two
at
of them!
event.
Listen, I like everything that you all are saying right now. Big Sword fan, big Darth Maul fan, I feel it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just fucking, hi, Matt Easton here from Scholar Gladiatoria. Today we're going to be reviewing the sword fight between two Gundam characters.
Yeah.
It's a good sword fight.
It's cool. Camille ends up, like, just, like, sort of pretty quickly cutting the other hand off of the Gaplant with his own beam saber.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But Yazan like escapes. And Emma is like, Camille, you gotta go after Yazan. Me and Katz will be fine. Off you go now, my dear. But actually, like Camille goes off, but actually then the next scene, Emma is like, oh my god, why did you wait for us? I like that Camille's priority is making sure his comrades are safe. This boy is good.
He's getting better.
Yeah. He knows that teamwork makes the dream work. You got to keep all the Gundams together so that you can own anything that you see.
Yeah, and like as Yazan's escaping, he like sort of looks on his like scanner and he sees that Emma and Camille are flying in formation. He's like, this is gonna work in my advantage.
Yeah. So he squads up to protect the Alexandria
right in front of the cockpit.
Yeah.
The bridge.
I'm protecting the Alexandria.
Camille,
come closer.
He attack.
Yeah.
Why don't you fire at me?
Yeah, Emma's got that big gun pointed at Yazan. It'd be so terrible if Yazan were to dodge at the last second.
But it's fine. He's not going to do that. He's going to stand right in front of the bridge of the Alexandria where Jamaicon is, and he's going to do protect. Just like that.
It's Always Sunny title card. Yazan dodges and Jamaican beefs it.
Yeah. And as like Jamaican's like gets exploded by a big beam weapon, Yazan says this is a battlefield after all, which just I love this cockroach. I love this bug of a man.
He's so nasty. I love him so much.
He says love is a
rude little guy.
Die. Yeah, rested shit, Jamaicon.
Yeah,
I'm pressing S.
I think definitively for me the pronunciation was Jamaicon because I wrote it down as if it were Jamai convention.
Okay. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that it's irrelevant.
I think it's spelled exactly like Jamaican though.
It's spelled exactly like Jamaican. So Gundam names are just all over the place. Who can say?
Yeah.
Sure.
But like afterwards, Katz is like sort of while they're flying back, Katz feels bad and like. Camille and Emma do a good job of like sort of consoling him. They're like, like we're not. Hankin will probably lecture you, but like we're not gonna. Like you did a good job, buddy. We're proud of you.
Yeah,
it's good.
You hotwired a Gelgoog. It was sick as shit.
It was really cool. 5 stars. Yeah. Hey, what is Bright Sea? I lost my shit.
Again.
I lost my shit at this part. I was not prepared. It just keeps happening.
So there's a big old map of a very recognizable silhouette of a space object known as a Bawaku.
Yeah. And a map of
from
grips
Gundam?
Too, right next to each other.
Oh,
what
like
could this mean?
From Gundam?
Yeah.
It's just
like there's like a little conversation on the Argama Bridge with Bright where they're talking about how Grips and a Bawaku are like a thing together, and that like the Titans appear to have allied with the remnants of Zeon or something. Which is just pretty weird since, well, as far as I was concerned, the reason that the Titans existed in the first place was to kind of eradicate remnants of Zeon. But I guess they did the thing in shonen anime where you're enemies at first and not your friends.
I'm thinking about it.
Well, it's, a Boaku was just sitting there and nobody was using it, so why shouldn't the Titans buy it from Zeon and then rename it the Gate of Zidane? No reason not to. It's theirs now.
Normal name.
Yeah.
Normal name.
Hankin does congratulate Camille for doing such a good job, but then Camille is like, oh, don't thank me, thank Katz for saving my life, etc., etc. Couldn't have done it without him. And they get word that somebody's coming back to space.
My dad's coming back.
Guess who's back? Back in space.
Earth. Quattro's
Guess
back.
who's back?
I guess, Sarah, I think it's your turn for the episode title this time.
Yeah, episode 27. Rendezvous avec Char.
Rendezvous with Shower?
Yeah, rendezvous with Char. Like,
yeah, everybody's stinky after that battle.
Yeah, they got a wash. Weird how Char's in the title of this, but does not show up in the episode. I was mad about it.
Yeah.
So, in this episode, we gotta go pick up Quattro from Earth. But the place that we gotta go pick up Quattro from Earth is in enemy territory. Like, they just kind of gotta deal with that. Meanwhile, the Alexandria is being repaired, Yazan's being a piece of shit, to Jared specifically, also to Sarah, just in general a piece of shit. Back on Earth, Hayato is seeing Quattro off, there's some stuff there, and then we cut back into space where like mobile suits are being deployed in order to go pick up Quattro, there's fighting, etc. The shuttle launches into space, gets into space, and they're just kind of sitting there. But they're sitting there. It's not really good to just kind of be sitting there. Quattro is like, don't worry, we'll not sit here. I'm going to launch in a lifeboat. It's fine. There's some more cool space fight involving a really, 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 really big gun, which fires, doesn't kill anyone, it's fine. And then the argument picks up Quattro.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. I think the first thing that happens in here is, like, once again, Camille and Fa at each other's throats.
Yeah.
Because Fa is just combing her hair before battle, and Camille just apparently is rude enough to not stay in his lane about it.
Yeah, like, girl take ages to get ready. Oh my god.
Ugh. What an inconvenience for me, a teen boy.
And they get in a fight, and Camille ends up, running off. And as he leaves, Haro, like, turns to Fa, and it's just like, Fa, emotionally excited.
I don't think the word Haro uses is excited in the dub, because I think I would have remembered that. But yeah. And then Camille also runs past, what's-his-face, Hoppily, who describes Camille, like, their bickering as their, like, hobby.
Yeah. He's like, it's recreation, leave me alone. God.
Ooh, hey,
Yeah.
Do you want to know, we were looking up Hinken's age earlier on Hero Wiki. Do you know what what Hinken's hobby is? Apparently it's
misogyny?
Caring for Emma.
Okay, so yeah, misogyny.
Yeah.
Caring, huh? They really described it as caring.
And he certainly doesn't have any other character traits.
Here's the thing. They spent all their rec room money on the gravity chamber for Char, and that's the biggest problem with the Argama is nobody has any real hobbies.
Gravity chamber for who?
I'm sorry, the gravity chamber for Quattro. Well, Quattro probably picked it up from Char. I'm sure Char's right.
It's a hand-me-down.
I thought you said the gravity chamber for Char, that you go to the gravity chamber and you take, like, a high gravity Char.
Oh, wow. Ooh, that's an interesting concept. The water hits you real hard, doesn't it?
It really like loosens your muscles up. It's great.
Yeah. My muscles.
So basically, like, they have to sort of fly to Earth orbit to pick up Quattro as he gets blasted into space. And their plan is sort of to, like, since I think Rekkoa is off doing something, so Fa has to get in the Methus. Yeah. So Bright's like, okay, we cannot have the Zeta and the Methus interact. We cannot have Camille and Fa getting mad at each other during battle. This cannot keep happening.
Like, Bright and everybody keeps telling Camille, like, listen, you need to get your shit together before Quattro shows up. The girls cannot be fighting still when he gets back to the ship, or, like, he's gonna know I'm a bad dad.
Yeah. Like, come on, kids, your daddy's coming home. Your other daddy's coming home.
He's like, it's like when you have to clean up your house really, really fast when you know your mom's about to come home.
Yeah.
Company is coming!
They can't know that we
can't let people know we live here.
But yeah, then we cut over to the Alexandria, and, like, it's all being fixed, because, I don't know, like, it's almost like someone got shot out of the bridge last episode and died.
Probably no one important.
So some other guy's in command. I didn't really catch his name. I'm sure he'll be here for
another
a while.
blonde man with facial hair.
Yeah, like, literally.
Gady. Gady.
Cool. But guess who else is here?
Jared and Moar.
My kids.
Ah.
I love that they're, like, an item now. I feel like they never... I mean, there's a reason why they don't leave each other's side, but, like, it's just funny that they're always together.
Yeah, because I think, like, Jared is here, and then, like, Mawa appears, and Jared is like, oh, shit, Mawa, I didn't expect to see you here. There's some, like, other conversation where it turns out Abawaku is now called the Gate of Zidane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Sriracha's been hanging out there doing, I guess, turning it into an upside-down Dracula castle or whatever.
I was going to say, he's been, like, eating bats or something there.
Yeah. My only other note until the cool Jared Mawa scene is that Yazan is awful.
He's throwing away all the high sex because he's tired of their busted old shit.
Oh, yeah.
He says, I can no longer bear having to fight with these pieces of junk, and is, like, trying, like, in his gaplant trying to throw one out the airlock.
He's just throwing a tantrum. It's so good.
Listen, he's like, we can't let anyone know we live here, except no one's coming to visit.
Damn, bitch, you live like awful. This?
Yeah.
Oh,
he's God. Like, we've got to get rid of these Hyzacs. We can't let anybody know that we sit in cockpits.
God. And, like, Jared and Moa are both, like, banging on the cockpit, trying to, like, get him out of there. Or I think Jared and Sarah are both banging on the cockpit.
Yeah.
And he gets out, and then he, like, takes his glove off specifically to slap Jared in the face with it as he, like, coolly floats away. Probably flips him the double bird off screen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because the reason they do this is because Jared, like, mentions to him, he's like, oh, yeah, well, you haven't defeated the Zeta Gundam yet, have you? And Yazan is just like, bitch, watch me. And they kind of take off their gloves in order to sort of shake and accept this challenge, but instead of shaking hands, Yazan just slaps him.
Yeah.
A gentleman's duel.
He also tells Jared to stick to hanging out with his cyber new type friends. Because, you know, Yazan's just like, he doesn't want to deal with, I guess he calls the Hyzax battle dolls and kind of like infers that Sarah's one too. And it's just like
a half-finished doll is the term he uses.
In the dub, he calls her like a Girl Scout.
Oh, I like that one better.
Yeah. Goody two shoes.
I don't know if it's exactly that, but it's something like that.
That tracks, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then kind of Jared ends up leaving with Mawa following him.
Yeah. Moore starts hitting on Jared, wants Jared to know that, you know, just because she spent some time with Sirocco, it doesn't mean anything, that he's an unpredictable man, and she'd rather be side by side with him going into battle. And they get kissy face in a side hallway.
Sucking face on the Alexandria.
Again, like, the second kiss in Gundam that hasn't made me want to claw my eyes out.
Yeah.
I know! I wonder what the theme is, why this is a good one.
This is, like, one of the few relationships that feels like both of these people are, like, on completely equal footing. It's, you know, love to see it. Love to see our nasty boy Jared get together with, you know, the smart soldier of Moar, and they're gonna go kill Gundam together, I guess.
Listen, you need a blonde guy with anger issues, and you need a green-haired person that simps them.
Exactly. And, like, she sort of mentions, she's like, well, I'm going to take the Hyzac from now on. Even though it's, like, because Jared says that's, like, Sarah's energy tank for her Hyzac, because she has that big gun. Yeah. And she's like, I don't care if I'm going to be stranded, because you're always going to keep me safe, baby.
Yeah. And I guess she doesn't, her Gabflay got blown up anyway, so it's not like she has anything else to pilot, so she might as well like drive the battery for Sarah.
Like, she is kind of like, she's literally only here at this point to kind of hang off of Jared's coattails, but somehow this series kind of makes that not suck ass.
Yeah,
which is wild, because that's a plot line that happens for women in like half of 20th century stories all ever. But this time it's actually okay. I'm okay with this.
We stan.
I mean, we don't stan, but we appreciate.
I stan.
Well done.
Okay. The only thing that would, like, make me... Well, I mean, not like this is, like, the coolest thing to ever happen, but, like, this scene made me very happy. I'd like to see it. And then I lost my shit at the next scene.
The next scene.
Remember when Bright ate a burger?
Oh, what if he did it again and then talked with his mouth full of burger?
And again.
He did.
And again.
This boy can't stop eating.
This boy loves burgers.
Please, sir, if you don't mind, don't talk with your mouth full.
In the sub, we just get, Captain, please don't talk with your mouth full.
It's clearly a problem. He clearly always does this.
Yeah.
And just, again, like, his vocal performance, he's like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Love it. It's great.
10 out of 10.
Because, like, he's ordering, like, Fa and stuff to deploy, I think.
Yeah. Fa shows up late and apologizes for it, and Camille's rude to her about it.
Fucking, he kind of mutters under his breath. He's like, she'll make a difference. Fuck off, Camille.
Yeah.
Asshole. You were dead weight until, like, 3 episodes ago.
Yeah.
What, Camille?
Yeah.
Get his ass.
Get his ass.
Yeah.
And yeah, the last thing we sort of see while we're still in space is that, like, they take off to retrieve the shuttle, but, like, Yazan is, like, already sorry because he just, like, chomping at the bit. He wants to do kill. He wants to perform bug crimes onto Camille.
Yeah.
Hankering for battle.
And also, like, Katz is deploying, but Emma is like, okay, Katz, please. Katz,
I'm speaking to you directly in your ear.
Yeah.
Katz. It's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, Earth time.
Yeah.
Ziad Humla, our big friend.
Yeah.
You mean our small friend?
Yeah.
Our small thick boy?
Oh yeah, our thick boy Hayato is talking to Quattro about the orphans that I guess Quattro has decided to bring into space with him.
Who the fuck are these children?
It turns out that Gundam needs children on it, and so these are the new children since the old children's grew up.
Like they're never like addressed in these 3 episodes. They're just there.
They literally look like a knockoff of Kika and Let's.
Yeah. Earthbrand Kika Let's.
Great value Kika and Let's.
You just go to Costco, pick up a batch.
Yeah. Head down to the bulk orphan store, get some orphans.
Listen, there was a war like 7 years ago. I'm sure there is a bulk orphan store.
Kirkland signature bulk war orphans. And also the framing in this shot is so funny because it's like sort of shot down the hallway towards the shuttle, and like I guess they sort of accidentally drew Quattro and Hayato off model because Quattro is like nearly 3 heads taller than Hayato in the scene. It is so funny.
I do not think this is off model in any way.
You think this is the most accurate it's been? Everything else is off model, but this.
There is like a 2-foot height difference.
Yeah, Quattro is very tall, and Hayato is the shortest, whitest man. The thing is they did it like this because if they would have been like head on, showing them like walk side by side down the hallway, you'd see that Quattro is maybe 2 inches thick up until his shoulders, where he has like, big, wide, manly shoulders, whereas like Hayato is 5 feet across, taking up the rest of the hallway.
Yeah.
They'd have to animate the walk cycles so differently.
Perfect cubular man.
A chode of a man.
Ideal. But yeah, they have a conversation about going back into space and stuff.
Yeah, Hayato's like really like laying it on Quattro, being like, listen, people in space on the moon, they're terrified because of the colony drop that the Titans did, and Blex is dead, and you've got to do it. You got to step up and lead AUG so that people don't have to be terrified.
Hey, remember how Quattro had one job down here on Earth?
Mission failed.
Well,
that's why he's going to space to redeem
Quattro.
himself. He's bringing orphans back to like redeem himself in the eyes of, I guess, himself.
Yeah. I came down here with 1 Blex and I've brought back 2 orphans.
Yeah. Also, Hayato gives him a letter from Mirai to give to Bright too, which is nice.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever Hayato leaves and Quattro is there, like, thinking about becoming leader of AUG and, like, doing Gendo Ikari pose, he says to himself, Karaba and the AUG, and then there's Axis. My plate is getting a little full. The fuck is Axis?
What could this mean?
The fuck is Axis? What kind of, like, historical conglomeration of nations might be associated with the word Axis? And
I can't think of...
This mean?
I can't think of anything relatively important to that could have happened around the 40s. Couldn't tell you.
Oh, you mean from the Middle Ages? Like Hitler?
Yeah, the Middle Ages.
Middle Ages.
Hitler from Gundam.
Yeah.
And they do launch. Important to note here, Kai is not on this shuttle. Important to note.
We get a cool flight attendant doing flight attendant voices before the shuttle launches, and then we get once they're up in space, we get to see the 2 pilots, and one of them just confusingly looks like Kai with long bangs.
Like, literally, I was like, oh, it's cool how Kai is piloting.
Yeah.
Weird that, like, we didn't get a kind of proper character introduction, but, it's Zeta. It does things quite subtly sometimes, so they probably just kind of put Kai in the pilot seat.
This is his side
for this
gig.
Plane, and then I didn't think about it any at all until the very end of this episode.
When I frantically went to the wiki and looked up the episode and then hit Control F Kai.
Yeah, certainly there is, for me it was, I have written down on my notes, just Kai is here, and then at the end of the episode, when a thing happens, and I'm like, well, I know that's not Kai now, and then went back up and said, this is not Kai next to
That
it.
was determined to be a lie.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure Kai is on Earth and, like, gets the sad news that, like, his twin brother died tragically in space, and it's a really sad character moment that we just don't get to see on scene.
He's on Earth.
Screen.
He's on Earth playing Undertale with the Pope.
Yeah. Then he gets the very sad phone call that his twin brother Bly, that he just discovered existed, is dead.
It's a real Uncharted 4 situation.
Yeah. But yeah, they there are some issues. The battle has already started. This is a civilian ship with a bunch of civilians on it, and they're worried about taking it close to the fight. They'd rather just head straight for the Sweetwater colony. So Quattro volunteers.
Sweetwater?
Yeah, Sweetwater. It is. I think this is the first time Sweetwater's been brought up. But that is the colony where 0080 is set, I want to say.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
So it is well known for being like a quasi neutral like independent space colony. So that's probably why they're heading there.
Cool.
The Sweetwater life of Hyzak and help me out here.
Rakoti.
Yeah.
Rakoti, thank you.
Quattro does say, "Hey, listen, it's fine. I'll take a boat out. Let me just get in a boat."
Yeah, which is like it's slang or something like that. It's like I guess lifeboat is like
a lifeboat or a distress boat or
something.
Yeah, just like a little ship that he can use to get to the Argama. Mm-hmm. And they're like, "Okay, yeah, cool. That's cool."
Sure.
Meanwhile, Yazan is killing the shit out of all the Nemos.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of my nasty boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At some point, we also see Jared's team launches, and he has, we see Sarah with the mega launcher, and you may fire it once.
Yes.
It's it's kind of cool looking. It's like this gigantic, both shoulders mounted cannon that, Moar is, flying right behind Sarah in a different Hyzak, basically, holding the rest of it.
Yeah, it's like, you know how last episode the Mark II Gundam got a really big gun? Just make it bigger. Yeah. Can't wait to see the episode after this.
Well, it's also really cool to see the difference in designs, because we've seen the mega launcher that the Hyakushiki had, which was
when the hell are we going to see that stupid thing again? I mean, I know we haven't seen the Hyakushiki in a hot minute, but it's just really funny that we saw it once and it just missed and didn't do anything.
Max.
Hey. Yeah.
We saw it yesterday when we watched Despicable Me.
Right. I know. Yeah, you're right. We did do that.
We saw 899 of them.
Did you hear about the name of the segment, Colin?
No.
Grugio.
We started a second podcast for our Patreon.
Oh.
A 5-episode prestige series.
5-episode prestige series, Grugio.
Oh, I love it. Oh, buddy, yeah.
It's behind a paywall.
I had a heartful brainwave that nearly killed Sarah and Argyle when I posted it in chat.
It's locked behind a paywall because its power is too great to be released into the universe.
Yeah,
just like Zork.
Yeah, I mean, if you do assemble all 5 episodes, you will summon Minion, the Forbidden One.
Okay, back to Gundam. Pass me the ox.
Yeah. We all have this written down. The way that they attach the Hyzak to the mega launcher to power it up is Moar gives Sarah her aux cord to plug into it.
Okay, my note actually says that the Hyzak has aux cord fingers. I think I misinterpreted the animation here.
Oh yeah, no, it's holding the plug, sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like doing the fun Wolverine claw thing that you do with with
pens.
butter knives.
That I'm doing right now with all the pens on my desk.
with your Gundam detailing pens, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's just I like to see. I really like that Zeta. I mean, I know it makes sense as the series goes on, but even this early in the whole franchise, that they're really focusing on the mechanical aspects of these things.
Yeah,
I just think what they should focus on is the way that the Xiong had to its fingies turn into guns and shoot lasers out of the fingies.
Yeah.
I just think all your fingies should be aux cord, and then you can use that to DJ really cool. And I think this should be a DJ battle instead of a gun battle.
Well, we know that the Rick Diaz has Goo Finger, and
Goo Finger?
It probably has an aux cord finger too.
You don't know it doesn't.
There's probably a star finger somewhere in this series. It's in space.
It's in space.
But yeah, Yazan is really doing it to Emma, and not having a good time. So, I guess Katz gets launched to team up with the Mark II.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Katz gets launched, Sarah is about to fire on the Zeta or something, and she does sort of new type connection with cats. Like they have a connection. This sort of establishes.
Yeah.
And like cats, like whenever cats comes out, because he had that connection, he's like, oh my god, blah blah. Did you guys not feel the vibes? Like there's a really big gun around here somewhere.
Yeah. It's Katz's turn.
Yeah, and we definitely start to see that more as kind of like the fight plays out. Yazan goes into hiding, and then suddenly Camille senses him while fighting Jared, right before Yazan, like, does a little surprise attack. And then, like, Sarah and Mo are starting to line the shot up on Camille and Yazan to take them both out at once, and then just everybody gets new type time.
Yeah, there's just like this sort of 5-way group call.
Yeah.
And everything happens so much.
They can't ignore Sarah's killing intent. The miasma just floods over the battlefield.
Famously pacifist Sarah's killing intent.
Yeah, like at first Camille feels her breathing, which is like, this has happened so many times in Zeta already. And Camille sort of like yells to Sarah to stop, and she hesitates, and then she's still about to do it. And then like Katz does it, and like that like freaks her out even more. But at that point, I think she'd like already sort of pulled the trigger. Yeah. But I guess the hesitation was enough for Camille to dive out of the way and Yazan to dive out of the way, but not before. Like, he doesn't do it as well, and he gets part of his leg blown off for like the third time this episode.
Because like this gun she pulls the trigger, and it takes like a minute for it to like charge up and finally fire, and then just like even being near the beam will blow your leg off. Apparently, it's great.
And while the beam doesn't hit any mobile suits, it does hit the space bus.
Yeah.
It's totally appropriate that Kai's brother is called Bye, because
Bye. Yeah, it's just gone. Just completely vaporized.
Yeah.
Pretty sick.
Like, everyone is just immediately like, the shuttle just completely disappeared. Like, there is nothing left of it. It is vaporized.
At that point, I had started to suspect it may not have been Kai piloting the shuttle.
I have one last note about the kind of the 5-way new, not the 5-way new type standoff, but like the big gun is so big that it can only fire once, so they have to like aim it really carefully. So Jared has spent this whole battle trying to like hold the Zeta sort of in one place so that the girls can shoot it. And he might have succeeded at this if only like Yazan hadn't come over and like taken up Jared's challenge from the start of the episode and tried to interfere.
Right.
At which point Jared is like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get out of the way and let Yazan be hit by this big gun, is the kind of vibe. It's
good for him.
He is participating in the Alexandria Kismesis culture.
Sure. Fine.
Okay.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, we do get that comment from Sarah too, who's like, doesn't she like explicitly say that like she really did like you, like Katz, like as she kind of like runs away after like everything getting blown up or whatever.
Yeah,
and like as they're leaving, Jared and Moore can kind of tell that she's like a little bit lost in the sauce at this point.
Yeah,
the sauce of big gun.
The sauce of love.
Yeah. Back on the ship, Camille's kind of like is about to correct Fa, like he literally raises her hand.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, but then doesn't.
Is this is the first time he's come close to doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like he decides not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Like I get that oh man, they had to do something to like show that the kind of like programming he's been put through, because like it's very clear that like Emma and Quattro don't like it, but see it as like this necessary thing that because it happened to them, it has to happen to the people that they train, and like either like Camille had to say something that he considered doing it, or this like action of raising his hand and then not hitting her to show that he's like he has recognized that as a bad thing and is deciding not to do it, and is like, listen, I just want us to be okay with each other because we could die at any time, and I don't want to keep fighting. And it's I think it's showing that Camille is like really exceeding beyond what anybody before him could have done, which is in like a lot of different ways.
Yeah. Though having said that, the apology he gives to Fa is kind of like a bit of a non-apology.
It's a total sort of non-apology.
I'm sorry you feel that way kind of shit.
It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. And like Fa is okay with it. I guess maybe she also is just like, whatever, like, I just want us to, like, not be fighting too, but it still sucks that, like, she just, like, is like, okay, this is good now.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like, they talk it out and they kind of, like, hug and kiss, but there's more work to be done here.
Yeah. Fucking 80s toxic masculinity. What are you gonna do, I guess?
Yeesh.
Yeah.
I just dubbed.
Yeah, but I think Camille, like, explicitly says, like, you know, I'm gonna keep getting mad at you, and I'm also gonna keep apologizing for it, and that just kind of, like, ruins it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, ugh.
Yeah, the thing he says is, like, I'll apologize if you want to. But fucking apologize!
Just do it. It's not hard.
You can just do it!
But yeah, they hug. I think he, like, kisses her forehead or something like that. It's,
Yeah.
like, it's nice. I'm glad that they're not gonna, like, be at each other's throats all the time.
Yeah. Oh,
And
and then the next scene.
Oh my god, it's such a
Yeah.
good scene.
Oh.
You know, Quattro heads up to the bridge. We see the very 80s children that we got from the bulk orphan store, and Quattro hands off the little letter to Bright.
Oh, it's just he opens the letter and there's like a little like floppy disk sort of thing inside.
Actually, before interesting enough, like the conversation that Bright is having before he gets this is about how he's like worried about his status as a father figure to Camille, and I think like maybe Quattro or someone is like, I don't really know that Camille needs a father figure, buddy. Anyway, here's a note from your actual children.
You know, the ones from Earth.
Yeah. The ones that you have with your wife that you haven't seen in years.
Remember how you have kids?
Oof.
And he sits in his dark office.
No.
He watches the tape. He plugs it into his computer, and it's
The
like
video.
it's like a video. It's like photo slides and like the voice of his kids over it. Like, you know, the kids are like telling him about, like, I think like Shaman's talking about how she can spell good now or something.
Yeah. She can finish all of her spelling homework now.
Daddy, I'm doing really good at my tests.
Oh,
Daddy, I'm gonna protect Shaman.
You know. Yeah, fucking, they tell him that, like, Mama always talks about you before bedtime and all the important work you're doing on the big Gundam ship, and it's just like...
Daddy, I heard you got Gundams!
You see him, like, clench his fist and he's shaking, and you see, like, teardrops fall onto the note. It's just like...
Just the brightest anime tears.
I love Bright so much.
Yeah. It's like, I'm so glad that they, like, you see this kind of, like, motion of him, like, clenching the envelope and like, the tears hitting it. Because, like, I feel like to be the first thing to show Bright crying really kind of betrays his character and how much he really does want to be with Mariah and his kids and is, like, sacrificing that to do what he thinks is right in the war. Mm-hmm. It's just...
Because his hand is fucking shaking. It's, like, not just crying, it's just complete overwhelmment, and...
Mm-hmm.
Boy!
Good show.
Yeah.
Good show.
Good show. Anyone one of you two got a segment today?
Yeah, you know, our favorite thing about Bright, funny Bright, definitely not sad crying Bright. Great thing about our good buddy Bright is he loves to eat a burger.
Yum yum.
And I
Bread
know
burger.
Usually I talk about drinks when I do a segment, but today we're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about burgers today. So first, real quick, best advice for making your own burger. One, you want to use ground beef that's 80% meat, 20% fat. And you know, that's generally the like ground beef you're going to be able to get at the store. That's what 90% of all ground beef is out there. And the other important thing about that is, like, the quality of the beef doesn't really matter that much. Like, don't get stuff like Wagyu like ground beef, because, like, the entire point of really high quality meat is usually, like, the way that the cow has been raised, that there is a high amount of marbling of fat in the meat, so that when you cut a whole slice of it, I'm sorry, there's a bunny out and I'm looking at a bunny outside
Semper
right
Bunny.
now. Yeah.
Fuck this segment, tell me about the bunny.
I see this bunny jump out of a big shrub in our yard, and I'm just like, Banui. Okay, all right.
Banui.
And
Gnoodam.
I am not looking at it.
No, you should look at
it. So, like, with stuff like Wagyu, like, you don't want to spend money on that, because, like, the reason that meat like that is so expensive is because it has fat marbled all through it. So then if you then took that slab of meat and put it through a meat grinder to make ground beef, you've essentially just turned it into regular ass ground beef. Like there's no
right.
So don't get that. Just get some regular beef. If you can get grass fed beef, that's better. You can taste the difference in that. That's the only thing I'd really recommend. And then you want to get you want to make sure it's room temperature. You want to form it into a ball or a patty depending on how exactly you're going to cook it. And then you want to kind of like dust it with salt on the outside. If you mix salt into the beef when you start forming it together, that's what makes meatballs, and it'll actually dissolve the protein inside of the burger and make it really dense and thick. You don't want that. And then when you go to cook it, you want a nice hot source of heat. You either want to do it on like a charcoal or a propane grill or pan fry it. If you do pan fry it, I would suggest coating the burger in oil before you put it on there. And it's also not a bad idea to do that on a grill too, just because it helps get like a nice crispier like fry on the outside. And yeah, just quick and easy, 4 or 5 minutes on each side, flip it, take it out, let it rest. You don't want it to be too hot. If you cut into it right afterwards to check the temperature, all the steam's going to come out of it and you're not going to have a good burger. But yeah, it's that quick and simple. You put it on bread, condiments, whatever, you got a burger. Now,
Burgie.
Important thing. What does everybody on the Argama, how do they like their burgers?
Well, we know that Bright likes his burgers a lot.
Yes. Bright likes just a classic burger, normal burger straight out of the burger vending machine. Lettuce, tomato, pickle, onion, ketchup, tomato, regular bun, simple clean ass burger. Maybe with some cheddar on there. Maybe a little American cheese or some Velveeta or something like that. Just quick, simple burger. Now, Quattro, we know, needs a lot of protein. He's got to get a lot of calories. So,
so bun, burger, bun, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Scooby-Doo-ass sandwich.
Quattro is a big fan of elevation burger because he does not want his burgers to be limited by gravity. Just stack those patties up. I'm sure
just
he throws
like
a couple
Quattro
of,
is.
Yeah, I'm sure he throws a couple of fried eggs in there.
Get that protein.
I definitely want to get some maybe some arugula or like another like heavier green that's going to give him a lot of fiber to get all that protein down, and then plenty of mayonnaise for the calories. You got to have those calories in there. And you've got to hold that massive burger together with lots and lots of melted cheese. Like, you want a Swiss or, something, or maybe a provolone, something that's going to melt really well. Maybe some mozzarella. Who knows?
I feel like I'm going to die just thinking about this.
Now, Camille, starts out really wanting for people to know that, Camille's a boy's name. He's a boy. He's really he's overcompensating with the manliness. So I think Camille's, when we first start Zeta Gundam, Camille is one of those people with the obnoxious barbecue burger. Big fat, oversized, patty, tons of bacon, lots of barbecue sauce, just maybe some like pulled pork thrown on there, just like an absolute mess, so that when he's done eating it and his entire face and hands and chest are covered in barbecue
he's a
sauce.
messy boy.
Yeah, you're like, oh yeah, it's like Camille is a boy's sauce. But he goes through a lot of trauma. He does a good world tour. He goes to space. He goes to Brazil. He goes across the continental United States. Ends up in Hong Kong. I think he ends up seeing a lot of different cultures and a lot of different cuisines, and really begins to like appreciate stuff. And I think probably we didn't see it on screen, but I bet that he and Fa like went out on a burger date. And he decided he's an experimental person now. He'll try a tofu burger. He'll try a grilled portobello on a bun. He'll get some weird pickles or something on there. He'll get some kimchi on it. He'll try anything. Camille's life is all about trying as many burgers and expanding his burger consciousness now.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah. Who else do we want to know their burger order? Throw some people at me. Those are the three that I had.
Could I get an Emma, please?
Yeah. We're both thinking Emma.
Well, Emma we know is cottagecore. You know, she's probably going to have a burger that's a blend of of probably like beef and sheep, you know, where they get that kind of like more shepherdy gamey feel. And I think actually to make it a project, you know, really get that homey feel. There's a burger bar down here that has a burger they call the Redneck Wellington. And it is a burger patty with like a mushroom remoulade on it and some cheese and mustard, and then they bake it in like a beef Wellington style like pastry.
Wow.
Yeah. And that definitely seems like the kind of thing that Emma would make with her girlfriends out of the cabin, you know, put a couple of those together, put it in the cast iron, cover it in charcoal, you know, look up at the stars while, you know, you think about how you've got to fix your car the next day to drive out and, you know, meet up with Amuro Ray and go swimming or whatever.
I think if I may add to that, I think after baking it to add greens to it, she definitely like just picks a ton of stuff from her herb garden.
Ooh,
like
yeah.
you know she's growing some arugula, you know she's growing some lettuce, you know she's growing some kale.
Yeah, she probably goes and like wild picks some like wild greens too, you know, really get that nice spicy herby
she got
flavor.
Some ramps on her burger.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe some fiddleheads.
I'm looking away.
I don't know what a fiddlehead is, but
a fiddlehead is it's like the seed part of a fern when a fern goes to seed, and you can actually they're really good. You can like saute them. I have some pickled ones in our fridge right now. They freak
me out because they remind me of uzumaki.
Okay, so they are the little spiral things.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could eat those.
Yeah.
You can eat anything once.
Yeah. And then of course we know that Sirako's burger is just it is a Wagyu beef patty because he likes to flex on people and doesn't appreciate.
Sirako's burger is called Jared.
Yeah. Yeah, Jared's like, it's okay for me to die to make this burger because I know he's a vampire and it's fine. If he eats me, it's because he respects me.
Exactly. Yazan's burger, he just goes into a field and bites a cow.
Yeah. Yazan's burger is literally like, you know, the Looney Tunes cartoon image of like a big hunk of meat with a bone through it with a bun on either side.
Like a cartoon bite mark out like the butt of a cow.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Thank you, Colin. I'm hungry now. That was delightful.
Also, Max, you better not cut out the Benui segment.
Why the hell would I?
Benui.
Benui.
Yeah.
I'm a Benui in Final Fantasy XIV. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thank you all for tuning into this podcast. This was a very good episode. I'm glad that we are able to what's the word?
Remember how we were like
about Yazan, I guess.
Last week we were like, oh, this episode's going to be 2 hours long, and then we started this episode and we were like, they're pretty chill episodes. There's not much to talk about, and I'm looking at my Audacity file and it says 1 hour 51 minutes.
Yeah, you know, it'd be like that.
Don't be like that.
That's how it is at WoW Cool Robot Studios.
The burgers are important.
Content is king.
Last week we were like, oh god, this episode's going to be 2 hours, and then when we actually get to it, it's like, oh wow, this episode's going to be 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just used to it now. It's like an easy still edit. I just do it while I'm like, you know, grinding or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that'll do it. For me, personally, I'm Max. You can find me on Twitter. I'm MaxyVigilian. You can find some other shows I'm on, including Pod of Greed that I do with Sarah, world's #1 Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast at Pod of Greed Cast on Twitter. You can find my other show, Slappers Only, that I do with my friend Jordan, Video Game Music Showdown Podcast. We just did an episode on Celeste that'll be going up the week this episode comes out. That's on Twitter at Slappers Only Pod.
Nice. And I'm also on Pod of Greed. And if you want to listen to our new Prestige Minions podcast called Grugio, you can go to Pod of Greed. You can go to patreon.com/Pod of Greed, and you have to give us money to get that, so fuck you. I also have another podcast called Never Believe It, which is not about Naruto. And you can find me on Twitter everywhere at Sarah McCostumes.
And hi, once again, my name is Colin. You can find me on Twitter at Padgettish, Padgettish. I am still private. It's only for like another couple of weeks. Please send me a friend request. I am trying to remember to check them. But you can also find my new podcast, MetaWatch. That's MEDAWATCH. It's about Metabots. Fucking Max came on. It was fantastic. It was a great episode.
Very fun time. Yeah. You learn a lot. The world has room for 2 Gundam shows.
Yeah. It turns out that sometimes a Gundam show is also Pokemon and also Yakuza, and it's a fun time. Just check it out.
If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will.
Just the spaghetti diagram of who does podcasts with who in this podcast and other podcasts and every other podcast. It's just expanding. I love it.
It's as complicated as like the Titans hate diagram.
Yeah.
I think so. You did it last week. So Sarah.
Yes, I have one.
What's your robot of the week?
My robot of the week is the 1890 Symington Pretty Housemaid corset. And this was a corset which is just notable for being one of the first, like, cheaply mass-produced corsets that was made using sort of new machine-making techniques. And what I really like about it is because it is... We think of corsets in the modern day as being, like, sort of beauty items, but this just really emphasizes how utility they actually were. And this is a corset designed... to look nice, but also to just fucking, like, support your back when you are doing your, like, chores and labor of a housemaid, like, all day. Like, if you worked in, in American retail, they don't let you sit down. That fucking sucks. Imagine you just had, like, back support the whole day. And I just love this corset. It's really nicely made, cheaply made, and I think I'm going to try and make a replica of it in a few weeks.
Hell yeah. Walk fashion, baby. I like
That's
to look
my robot
at it.
of the week.
Anything's a robot if you can believe it.
Gundam is corsetry. I've been saying this.
There's a video about this, folks. You can watch it right now. Hey, well, cool. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Fa. Thank you, Emma.
Thank you, Burgers.
Yazan.
Thank you,
Burgers. Thank you, McDaniel. Thank you, Bubgerkurg. Have it in a way.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you, bye. Thank you, Kai. Goodbye, bye.
Yeah.
Good Kai.
As we always say, in the words of Kai's newly found and newly dead brother, war is bad.
Wow.
Cool big gun.
Boom!
My cool big gun, yeah.
Okay, yeah, all right.